Hello BattleTech fans, this is Travis back with a little video that I thought you guys might enjoy. I got some packs of the limited edition of the old CCG in the mail today, and I actually found them pretty cheap on eBay. I think they're about $5 a pack. Almost retail, and I thought I would open those along with some other packs that I happen to have sitting around that I haven't opened yet because I was saving for a video. And I would use this opportunity to kind of let you guys follow along, watch me open some packs, which everybody enjoys to some degree, and also chat a little bit about the channel, kind of what I'm trying to do with the channel, and ways that maybe the community can kind of help and support what I'm doing with Renegade HPG and trying to kind of grow this little celebration of the BattleTech universe that we all know and love. But before kind of diving into that, let's take a look at some of these cards. And so I am trying to complete a pack fresh set of the limited edition, or actually of all the editions of the CCG. But right now we're going to look at that limited edition. So I've got about maybe half or so of the rares kind of in this pack fresh. So no kind of wear marks or handling marks or scratches or kind of white on the edges. For the set, and there's a couple that I am still missing. Actually, I have no idea where my rares are in that. I guess it's the Silver Sunburst pilot, actually. So first rare, Silver Sunburst. I'm still looking for a Melissa Steiner-Davian. So probably the best command card from that limited edition set. Certainly if you are a Steiner player, but I don't have one yet. I don't have even a non-pack fresh Melissa Steiner-Davian. So that'll be number one on the hunt there. I also need a Natasha Kerensky, even though it's not a particularly great card for gameplay. And if you haven't checked out my conversation with Gustav and Mark, where we kind of built our own Captain Natasha Kerensky card, which is actually a pretty sweet little card. And I'm going to be sending that out as a reward to patrons of the channel. So definitely check that out. Check me out on Patreon. Support the channel if you want to. Get cool little rewards like some custom CCG cards. Gladiator B, I want to say that that's probably the rare. I don't have all the rares uncommons memorized. I haven't played enough to do that. Definitely uncommon there. Dasher C. And headshot. And we got a couple supports here at the end. But yeah, as far as kind of channel growth, definitely if you guys have been watching these videos and having fun, I really encourage you to kind of throw a little bit of support behind the Patreon for Renegade HPG. Really, if everybody subscribed, threw in, a couple bucks a month, $2-3 a month, which I think is the lowest, patron level. So about the cost of a cup of coffee. You would help me kind of pay for all the expenses, all the software and all the editing expenses that come with producing these channels, which I would very much appreciate. That is a card that you cannot have too many of. Good old Forge mission orders. But yeah, it really does make a difference. If everybody's chipping in just a little bit, that kind of crowdfunding really makes a big impact. And so if you're on Patreon, or even if you aren't on Patreon, definitely consider looking up Renegade HPG, help with the channel. It will really go a long way. And once I start getting more resources there, it will expand the kinds of content that I can kind of share with you guys. Yeah, I've got a lot of great interviews. Man, that Mike Stackpole interview really kind of helped explode the channel. A lot of attention there, and even surprisingly the unboxing, the unboxing videos, which not the sexiest of content to produce. Certainly, I love opening stuff, but it is. I'm more than happy to kind of share some of that for the community, so that you guys can kind of see how those skulls compare with the rest. But regardless of whether it's as exciting as a conversation with Mike Stackpole or not, which not too many things it will be, it definitely kind of helped bring some attention to the channel, which is a plus, because if you haven't already, check out that conversation with Bob Charette. Some awesome insight there. And then Blaine, props to Blaine for, kind of having faith in the channel when it was basically just started. I don't think I'd even published any episodes when I was able to connect with Blaine for our first conversation with a BattleTech writer. So very cool there. But but I found that all the people I've been reaching out to, you know, super generous. So there's a rare there, Marissa. I'm not sure if I have a pack fresh Marissa. I don't think I do. So that's definitely a plus for the collection. Got some supports there. And then I'm still trying to kind of track down contact info for Robert Thurston and then William Keith. And then certainly I'll be kind of talking to as many of the kind of more modern ones as I can. But, you know, kind of the initial goal was really to connect with the early writers, you know, the early kind of creators of that BattleTech universe through the novels, and kind of share those conversations with you guys. But it's been a ton of fun to do that. All right, Blackhawk, probably won't be using that card. So if you guys haven't caught all the videos and all the work that I've been doing to create basically a fan update on this customizable card game, definitely look at the videos on the channel. There's some stuff there. Ooh, there we go. All right, that's a solid card. I needed Takashi, probably the number 2 of the command cards that I wanted. So good pull. All right, good mood here. Happy with that. But I have been doing a ton of work kind of in my spare time of creating basically custom updates for the old BattleTech TCG. And so, you know, kind of my complaints about the original game, while the gameplay is awesome, I love kind of the mechanics, you know, and certainly any chance to kind of get in a game of BattleTech that doesn't take several hours is going to be a plus in my book. But, you know, one of the big things that I had issues with is just there was a lot of kind of, you know, iconic mechs that were either didn't show up. All right, I can't open this pack. All right, just rub it. That either didn't show up, you know, in the original release because they were either unseen or whatever other legal issues were happening at the time. So real quick aside, I actually don't have much of any of the Crusade or Commander's Edition cards, and so pretty much all of these are going to be new for my collection. But anyway, you know, kind of my complaints, you know, a lot of the unseen just, you know, they were basically in the middle of the legal issues, and they just flat out weren't put in the original CCG. And so many of those just iconic mechs that we loved kind of growing up, decent one there, did not make it into, and good light, did not make it into the original release of the game. And so, so I certainly wanted to try to rectify that and kind of bring my own versions of those cards to the tabletop by making some customs. All right, I have absolutely no idea what my rares are there, but I'm sure people in the audience do. But yeah, just kind of bringing the customs and even more importantly, kind of making them pretty, you know, because the art on these original cards is really hit and miss. And I'm actually not a fan at all of these Crusade and Commander's Edition design, the updated design. I just think they went definitely in the wrong way and got uglier with too much black space, and it's just too busy. Just, you know, look at all these unused spots here. I mean, that's just kind of clunky. I do like what they did with the faction icons, using that instead of using the name. And actually, eventually with my custom card set, I do want to make a custom template as well, and it'll definitely use icons to represent the factions. Mr. Rockman, always a good card to have. But anyway, but yeah, it's just not an attractive card to look at. And when you're doing a CCG, you really need to make cards that people do want to collect, that people think are beautiful, you know, because there are going to be people out there that are going to buy it just because they like the look of the cards. And that's a good money-making opportunity that you're just kind of tossing away if you don't put that early attention into making a really sharp card design. But yeah, so not a huge fan. We got a Bjorn. It's definitely the rare. Yeah, a big oversight in kind of the original game, which could have been avoided. You know, you couldn't have avoided the whole unseen issues with those cards. But one thing that they could have put more attention to is ensuring that that the heavy mechs and the assault mechs and kind of the more iconic mechs, were just more playable. It's like, when people are playing the BattleTech TCG, you want to play the mechs that you love, from the tabletop. And if you're not playing that, then, it's just, it's not going to happen. If you can't put an Atlas on the table, at least once a game, then what's the fun of that? I'm not saying that we need a whole lance of Atlases on the table here, but, you should be able to deploy, a couple heavies and maybe one or two assaults, over the course of a regular game to kind of bring that spice into it. And that just, they're just not playable cards unless you have a deck that's just kind of a gimmick deck. It's a good card right there. Merrick, Cerberus. We talked about that on I think the first ever podcast that I did, my conversation with Chester and Michael. Cool Stranglehold. There we go. That's a good pull right there. Comstar Deep Agent. Nice. We talked about that in the original episode as well. Chester was talking about how he used that Comstar Deep Agent in his deck to take down, I think, Peter Sunholm, when he was playing kind of in a local game. So, another shout out to the other podcast when I got to talk with Peter and Terry, which were the first and second world champions for the BattleTech CCG back in, I think it was 98, 99 or 97, 98. But yeah, so the custom card project. So I've been putting up, pictures of the cards up on the CCG Facebook CCG group. So that's BattleTech CCG on Facebook. Let me try to word that a little bit better for you guys. And I also post cards on my Instagram. I'll put stuff up there every once in a while, and then I share some on Patreon as well. And there's some that I share on Patreon that I don't share anywhere else, just to give a little extra bonus and thank you to those people that do support the channel financially. But and a little maybe a little carrot for those of you out there that have been interested in those custom cards. Good card to have there. Debatable in terms of whether it was a good idea for card design, but so we got falsified maps. Actually, no, I'm thinking about something else. I was gonna say disguised coordinates with the Takashi card. That would have been a good pair to kind of pull out in this video with you guys. Blackwatch. Nice. So getting lots of new mechs here that I can be playing with. So Grendel made it out in the Clan Invasion starter box. But kind of carrying on a little bit into that CCG, that custom project. Actually, Commanders, we got another Crusade. Let's do that one first. So I actually have over 200 cards now. Certainly have not shared 200. I probably shared closer to maybe 24. But my goal is to kind of work through all of the TRO 3025 and the TRO 3050 first. Though I've certainly kind of expanded to mechs beyond that whenever I can find some really good art. Other than just getting mechs that I can play on the tabletop that weren't in the original game. Another big inspiration for that custom card project has been to just get some of the really cool art that has come out in the last 2 decades onto some cards, and just kind of see how it looks. Because, again, I want the cards to look good as well as to be fun to play with. But yeah. Judas, I don't know that name. I haven't read that far in the lore. Another Deep Agent. I feel like Deep Agent is a rare, but that would be interesting if I got 2 of them. It must be an uncommon. Probably an uncommon. But anyway, with the custom project, yeah, I've got a ton of cards there. Actually, it looks like I may have popped this one already. And what I'd like to do is actually get a website all together and basically have all those cards on there so that fans can kind of find that website, and then they can just kind of print out at home little proxies of each of those cards, slide them into a sleeve with a real card and play, and then you guys can offer me feedback in terms of how it's playing for you. One of the big questions has been costing of it. And so I've done a lot to kind of mess with the costing of the cards, much to the chagrin of some of the old school veterans. But I think that's a good card for playing multiple factions there. But just messing with those costing, I'm definitely kind of revolutionary in terms of my mindset when I'm approaching most any projects that I do. And I also think that as long as I'm consistent, in that the costing and my methods of the costing, that I don't think anything will break. Again, I'm not selling these, and so even if a custom breaks it, all that has to be done is go back and edit it and upload a new picture for people to kind of print and play with. And so ultimately have that community kind of play testing and let me know how it works on their tabletop, how much they enjoy playing some good old Warhammers and Marauders and Griffins and Wasps and Locusts, all that good stuff. On their tabletop in the little home game, I've added a lot of abilities to those mechs, so people can kind of give their feedback in terms of how those abilities play. That would be awesome. But if there are people out there listening, or that know people who are listening that know other people who would be willing to kind of lend some web design expertise and to get a really good looking website going for Renegade HPG that I could also tie in what I'm doing with that redesign or that fan expansion, that'd be really appreciated. Anything the community could do, if there's people out there that have expertise in sound editing or video editing, or anything that you think could help the channel, either improve the quality of content or scope of the content, or the accessibility of the content for the community, reach out to me. I would love to kind of have those contributions at whatever level. Certainly, if there's artists out there that can contribute to some of the art for that, also a questionable, in terms of its contribution to the game. Certainly contributes a lot competitively. Whether it's good for the game or not is to be debated. We talked about that in my conversation with Peter and Terry. If you guys can contribute, can't contribute financially, but can contribute skill set and expertise, please reach out to me. So it's Travis at renegadehpg.com. There you go. There's a card I don't have. Another card which has had a big impact on the game, good or bad depending on who you talk to. And a hellhound. But that would be awesome. I'd really love to see this channel grow. I'd love to get other people helping out, so it's not just me. Give a little spoiler, my professional expertise is not in anything to do with video or sound or content production. I think any business has something to do with marketing, though I certainly don't have professional training in marketing. So any contributions to those skills would help, because I am just kind of figuring it out as I go. Hoping the passion for the BattleTech universe kind of carries, and you guys appreciate that. As consumers of this content. But it's been fun. I was just exchanging emails today with Tex, actually, try to get him on the podcast and just talk BattleTech for a little bit. That'll be super fun. I love the videos that Black Pants Legion has been putting out, especially for one that just does not have the time to read through the massive amount of backlog of lore. There we go. Disguise coordinates plus my Takashi Kurita pull from earlier. That was a good combo. That's Michael Cohen talked about that in our conversation. He was a big fan of that. Quick salvage. Oh, we got a little bit of card damage to that one. I don't know what happened there. But we are coming up on the last pack here. But yeah, so connected with Tex, try to get him on for a podcast and just kind of talk shop. And actually we'll be connecting with DC Bruins for the third in our little trilogy of director's commentaries, which I've had an absolute blast doing. But we are going to be talking about Mechwarrior Revival next, Mechwarrior Origins, and my favorite, the free Het Mechwarrior film. We have done some really awesome director's commentaries. You know, DC is a talent that this community really needs to see more of, you know, and you know, I love if kind of the guys at Catalyst kind of found a way to kind of bring him on in official capacity. Just listening to Daniel talk, you know, in those director commentaries, to see that creative insights, you know, and just that raw talent there that he can kind of bring. In that combination of storytelling and animation and just illustration, even if it's not animation, would be really, really good for the BattleTech universe. And so for you guys listening, you know, we were talking about my Patreon at the beginning of this video, but Daniel didn't have a Patreon when I was chatting with him, and I convinced him to actually get one up and going. Ooh, Candace, nice. Good card if you're, you know, if... your opponent's deck warrants it. Actually, amazing card if your opponent's deck warrants it. Not very useful if it doesn't. Can never have enough risky combat jumps. But back to the point. Talking about supporting Daniel there. DC Bruins, a.k.a. sirdubdub. But yeah, I convinced them to get a Patreon up and going so that the community can support him. So if you guys have been watching those director's commentaries or have watched his videos, and agree with me that that is a talent worth supporting, then definitely find him on Patreon and throw some dollars his way to kind of help pay the bills. I know he's kind of will use that to buy some software and whatnot. And that's it. So that's all my pack openings. So there should have been 15 of them. I've actually got some sealed boxes down there, which I'll save for some other future videos. But thanks for following along. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed opening those packs with me. Definitely got some cards to kind of slide into the collection. But that's our update. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching these videos. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for interacting with the channel by commenting, sharing, liking, definitely subscribing. I really appreciate all of that. And yeah, I look forward to kind of producing more content for you guys, and hopefully this video can kind of bring in some talent either on the audio editing or video editing or website development, and I can start to kind of bring you guys more different options that you can enjoy Renegade HPG. But that's it. This is Travis signing off. We'll catch you on the next video.